Good morning and welcome back to Church at Home with Rachel for Monday, the 9th of August. This is my first video back from holidays and I'm glad to be chatting with you again. The last month has been one of relaxation, rest, prayer, pondering, wondering, but most of all, practice at just being. Before I went away, I had been doing a lot of thinking about what it means to be a Canadian as a white woman, as a Christian, as a priest. We live through the controversy of what to do with Canada Day, and we continue to wrestle with what it means to be settlers, colonizers who, whether we recognize it or not, are on the receiving end of many privileges which come with being the ones who dictated our history's story. I know that I am privileged because I have been able to live in 3 of this country's beautiful provinces. Between Rob and I, we have lived in or visited all the provinces and territories, but not except for Nunavut and the Yukon. We can attest the beauty and the magnificence of this nation as a land. We can also speak of the generosity and kindness of people from coast to coast to coast. We're blessed to have been born to live in this grand place. We've also been blessed by our ability to avail ourselves of the resources of the peoples of this land, all the peoples, from pre-contact to settlers, to immigrants of old, and brand new Canadians as well. No matter where we go, we have opportunities to learn from others about what makes them who they are, what makes them laugh, what makes them cry, what bores them to tears, and what catches their imagination. This past month has been one which has helped me to re-engage my imagination and open my heart to God and mind to God again in ways that allow the Spirit's inspiration to fire me up and bring me back to memories of the past that take me home. Help me to appreciate the beauty of the moment I have in the present, which is filled with mosquitoes, and to give me glimpses of the many adventures and possibilities that the future holds. This past month has been chock full of memories for me. I've been thinking a lot about up home at the farm and my grandparents. For those of you who don't know, up home and the farm, we're on the 3rd concession off Mulock Road in Bentinck Township, halfway between Hanover and Durham, about an hour away from Owen Sound and on Georgian Bay in Ontario. That probably won't mean much to most of you, but for a few of those who know those coordinates, you know that it's the most peaceful and welcoming place on earth. I've been thinking a lot about my Grandpa Ray, in particular in the sense of solidness he gave me. No matter where we moved, my dad's work, the farm was always there. Grandpa was always sitting in his chair, smoking his pipe, swatting at flies. He was being that touchstone for me that always just let me know that everything was going to be just fine. Grandpa died when I was 17, and for a long time, longer than I care to admit. His death left me feeling rather homeless. No longer could I turn right off Mulock Road and find myself at home. It's taken me a long time to realize that home is where Jesus and I can sit down together and say hello, listen to the swans as they swim in the Avon River, go for a walk down a road I don't recognize, or even where it seems that Jesus has disappeared, but his voice just tells me to just be still and wait. Jesus and I still have daily rendezvous. Sometimes he's on time and present. Other times it feels like he's not going to show up. But if I wait, the way my Grandpa Ray did, quietly, listening, thinking, not saying much, Jesus always does show up. Just not always the way I want him to. Like Grandpa, Jesus is the wise one, and I'm the one who needs to just listen and learn. And sometimes, if I'm really still and patient, I can feel Jesus take my hand and hold it tight, just like Grandpa did. Big, strong hand with my small, vulnerable hand in his, feeling loved and protected and encouraged. So this past month, I've spent a lot of time thinking about the past. My grandpa, the farm, those places that made me who I am and taught me so much about my faith. But I've also had a lot of time to think about the present. Over the past 2 years, I have spent oodles of time in prayer and discernment. about our move from Halifax back to Ontario and the gentle yet upheaval-filled time of spent at Round Lake while Rob was posted to Petawawa. The month I had the privilege of living with and nursing my father-in-law until he died. Our move to Alberta after only 1 year back in Ontario and ending up in Wainwright rather than Edmonton as we first thought. The divine timing that brought me to my Wainwright Edgerton Lee faith family, and even to the testing of a call to the episcopacy that led to at least having a woman on the ballot, if nothing else. So much prayer and discernment and energy has been expended in getting me to this moment in time, a moment filled with fresh air and birds and animals, fishing, walking in the forest, mosquitoes and bugs. A moment of renewed friendship and with my best friend and husband. A moment of deep and glorious yet terrifying vulnerability as I feel Jesus holding my hand and ask me gently but firmly to let go and to let God. To trust that what is coming next is all in God's hands. And this moment is a moment to give thanks. Breathe, look around, be aware, give more thanks, appreciate, memorize colors and sounds, feel deeply, and breathe even deeper than that. This moment here in the present that has emerged from a gentle and peaceful dwelling in the past for a little while is a gift. Is a gift because this moment, the present with this mosquito, will always, and I mean that literally always, be here. Now, no matter how much I might be remembering, good or bad memories, I can always be assured that no matter what, God has given me this incredible gift of being here in the present. And where the present is, God is also. Isn't that incredible? God is here in this moment all around us, creating, forgiving, loving, being right here with us. Isn't the present an incredible miracle? And it's ours all the time. The past helped us to get here, this moment. And in this moment, we have God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And isn't that all we need in this moment? One of the things I like about being Rachael Louise, Rachael Louise that God called me to be, is that God gave me a powerful and active imagination. My whole life I've been a dreamer, wondering what might lie around the bend in the road, hoping that experience in the future might open my eyes to see something miraculous and beautiful, hoping that I might have the privilege of participating in something God called into being that no one other than God could create. I know that I'm a big dreamer, but dream big or go home, right? I just mentioned that we need to take time to be in the present moment and appreciate what is right now. But I think God created us with imaginations and curiosity so that we could participate with God in creating what comes next. The future is a time when we can all be all that God imagined us to be. It is a place where nothing is yet tainted by reality or physics or that old awful teacher who tried to drill into us that we just weren't good enough. God's future, held in store for us, has such promise and hope. It's a miracle becoming, but we have to be opening to receiving it and accepting it. This past month, while remembering the past and learning to savor the moment, I think the Holy Spirit has been planting seeds that will grow and develop and become beautiful dreams and accomplishments and miracles in the future. I've remembered past disappointments that have become very much like divine revelations. I've been sitting in moments filled with peace as the Spirit has washed over my soul with newness of life and refreshing breezes. And I've been giving the inklings of new dreams, new possibilities to serve God and walk with Jesus and follow the prompting of the Holy Spirit. And I've been reminded that in God's Kairos time, all three, past, present, and future, can coexist all at the same time. Over the past few minutes, I've been talking about the past, the present, and the future. And over the past month, I've been doing a lot of thinking about that. Thinking about what is time and what is God calling us to do with time. And I think maybe something that we really need to do is stop thinking so much about Chronos time and the time that we think of, and really start focusing on God's time, Kairos time. Time when we can really focus on where God is working in our lives and where God is calling us to work in our lives and in the lives of others. We have been blessed with opportunities to work and to play, to rest and relax, to search out information and to share information, and to really embrace the things, the gifts that God has given us. And in this past month, I've had lots of time to do that. Time to think and to observe the beauty of God's nature, the miraculous nature of all of what we are living in, all of what we are. And so I encourage you to take some time to really think about God's time. What does it mean to take a deep breath, to hear the sound of the birds around you, to look at the mountains in the background or the prairies before us, and to really acknowledge that if God did all of this in God's own time, why do we worry about ourselves in our time? As I wrap up today's Church at Home, the first one back after holidays, I invite you to join me in the next few weeks as we just think about where is God taking us? What is God's time all about? I've had some time to relax, some time to contemplate, to think about the past, the present, and the future. And now is the time for action. Where might God lead us? Where is God leading me? Who are we going to become as the parish of Wainwright and Edgerton? Who are we called to be as individual Christians? Who are we called to be as Anglicans? I don't know right now, but in God's time, we'll all know. So for now, in this time, I'm going to sign off, but I will see you tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachael. It's good to be back. Have a great day, and God bless you all.